morning YouTube. Welcome back to another Stanley Legacy video. Today we'll be talking about my experience in Navy Bootcamp and 5 ways to...
Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Alright, so I've been in the Navy for 3 years. I went to boot camp in March 8th of 2016 and graduated May 13th or something like that for 2016 as well. Navy boot camp was probably one of the easiest things that I've done, right? In saying it was the easiest thing that I've done, it's really simple. There's several things that you can do to just make it through boot camp, right? First I'm going to talk about my experience through it, and then I'll give you these easy steps to help make it through boot camp in the Navy aspect. Alright, so my experience, right, the reason I joined the Navy was I only had like 50 cents in my bank account at the time and I needed a job. So I went down to the recruiter's office and I was like, hey, sign me up, I want to leave as soon as possible so I can make some money, right? And shortly after, so then I went down around January 28th, right? I signed my contract and MEPS and all that, and then March 8th of 2016 is when I boarded the plane to head to RTC Great Lakes, which is Recruit Training Command, Great Lakes, Illinois, right? That's where the boot camp is now held. So then from there, you go through this phase called P days. After you get there, you'll get your minute phone call, right? You'll muster all in this basically a corridor in the, I forget what the building's called, but you go in the first initial building, right? And then the chief or the petty officer first class, he'll come up to you and he'll tell you, he'll yell at everybody, hey, you got 1 minute to call your family, tell them you made it safely, right? So then you call your family, you tell them, hey, you made it safely to boot camp, right? And so from there, then you get mustered all into this room where if you haven't drank any water or any of that before you made it to boot camp, I strongly suggest you drink something on the plane or any of that, because as soon as you get there, you're gonna have to do a urinalysis test, right? The Navy tests for drugs like marijuana, stuff like that. So they're gonna test you as soon as you get there to ensure that you haven't been doing any drugs. So you're gonna muster in this room. You're gonna sit down for however long it takes you to pee, right? And then you're gonna go into the next room, right? You're gonna tell them your social security number and a bunch of other things, right? So that's the first night. The first night's gonna be very long. You're also gonna get all your gear, right? So you're gonna get your PT gear. You're gonna get your all your shaving stuff. You're gonna get your haircut that night, and then a couple other things, right? You're also gonna give anything that you wore or you brought with you. You're gonna put it in a box and you're gonna ship it home. So that's how that went the first night. And then you'll go to your the transition barracks. Once again, I forget what it's called. It's been a while since I've been in boot camp, but you'll go to the transition barracks for a couple days, and this is where you'll do your P days, right? P days is essentially processing days. That's where you're gonna get all your shots. You're gonna get your medical record evaluated. You're gonna get glasses if you need glasses. All things like that. Right, so I didn't know I needed glasses until I went to boot camp and they did the P days thing, right? Then I ended up wearing glasses ever since. So you'll do all that, right? And then at which point you'll be waking up at 5 every morning, right? And you'll be going to bed around 1600, 1700, around there. I forget the time metrics, but you're gonna be going to bed around those times. From P days, right? Let's backtrack real quick. During P days as well, you're going to be stamping everything that you've gotten, right? So you're going to be stamping your PT gear. You're going to be stamping your linen basket, right? I still have mine. It's somewhere in. I use it for laundry right now. It comes very useful. So you get this bag. It's like a mesh bag, and you're going to have your name on it, and you're going to have your division on it, right? So I was in Division 173. So you'll be stamping everything. You're going to get a little stamp, right? You're going to put all your names inside of it, like your name inside of it, and then you're going to put your division number. So you're going to stamp it, and then it's going to tell you who stuff's whose, because you're in a division of roughly like 50 to like 60 people, if I remember correctly. So you'll be in a division of that big size, right? And you'll go and you'll stamp all your gear. You'll stamp your shower shoes. You'll stamp your skivvies, which are underwear. You'll stamp your t-shirts. Your basically any uniform item you get, you'll be stamping, right? To ensure that you know what stuff's yours. So that you do all that during P days. The best way to really just make it through P days is to do what you're told. Don't overthink it, right? Don't overthink anything that they tell you. It's very simple, right? If they tell you to stamp in the top left corner, stamp in the top left corner, right? It's very simple. A lot of people overthink. Don't overthink in boot camp. That is one of the ways you're gonna get you're gonna get yelled at, or you're gonna get made to do push-ups, any of that stuff, right? So you'll do all that during P days, and then you're gonna march to your barracks, right? I was in the Arizona building, Battleship Arizona, I forget. Yeah, I forget exactly what it's called, but I was in the Arizona. So that was I was in the division of all male, so I didn't have any females in my division, right? You have co-ed divisions during boot camp, and then you also have all male divisions. I don't think they had an all female division. Those are normally the co-ed divisions. So yeah, we went to barracks, Arizona. So then, right, you go through your first day. Once you get through P days is roughly like 5 days ish. You get, like I said, you get all your shots. You get the peanut butter shot, which they put right above your buttocks or your butt, whatever you want to call it, YouTube. Right, so you get it right on the back right here, and you'll just get that initial shot. That shot does not feel good, especially the next day. Right, at first you get it, and you're like, oh man, this is just real thick serum or something that they put inside of you. And then they tell you to rub it in, right, because it's real thick. The next day, man, you feel that shot. So you get all your shots, you get all your medical records, and then they do the thing called the moment of truth. During the moment of truth, right, your recruiter will tell you about, like, during the moment of truth, they're gonna be like, did you lie about anything on your record, right? So you're gonna do all your medical stuff, your history of drug use, and all that. They're gonna have a chief, they're gonna have an officer come in, they're gonna start yelling at you, they're gonna be like, hey, you will go to mast, you will get held to the full extent of the UCMJ. They'll try to, basically they're gonna try to scare every single one of you out of there, right? They do not want liars in the military and all the things like that, right? So they're gonna try to scare you. And if your recruiter tells you not to say anything, then don't say anything, right? Because as soon as you say something, they're gonna pull you aside and you'll never be seen again, right? They're gonna send you to another thing, and then you're gonna be out the military, right? They're gonna kick you out the Navy. It's because falsifying of documents, right? So if you say something, just remember, you will be pulled out of the room, right, of the moment of truth, and you will never be seen again in the Navy, right? So that's what happens during the moment of truth. So if you want to stay in the Navy, and if it was like drug abuse or something like that, don't say anything about it, right? So that happens during the moment of truth, right? This is all during P days still. We're still in the P days phase, right? Then once you get through the moment of truth, you go to your barracks, right? The Arizona, like I was in, the moment of truth happens when you're in P days and you're still in your training barracks, right? You'll march all the way to your barracks carrying all your gear. So you'll have your sea bag full of all your uniforms and your gear, and then you'll have all your dress whites and your dress blues inside your garment bag, and then you'll have your little book bag that they give you too, which is also going to be full. When I went to boot camp, it was cold outside, so we had to wear our big trench coat, and then the scarf around our neck, and our beanie cap. So yeah, they'll do that. You'll march all the way there. If you're not used to holding a lot of heavy equipment or heavy things, just know that's going to be an uncomfortable march. You also get, when I went through, I don't know if you still get black boots, but when I went through, I got black boots issued to me, so you're breaking in your black boots as well, so that's gonna hurt your feet. Breaking in black boots is like the worst boots to break in. Luckily for me, my command changed to the coyote brown boots, which are nice. So you'll march to your barracks, right? And that's how you're gonna start off your whole boot camp experience, right? You're gonna do a couple things called the Marlin spike, the battle stations. You're gonna learn how to tie knots, like the square knot, and a couple other knots if you exceed in tying knots. Yeah, boot camp. There's a lot you do. Like, I didn't think about it, but you do a lot in boot camp. But right. So boot camp, you're gonna learn how to fold, right? Folding and attention to detail. If I were to make this video short, folding and attention to detail is the biggest thing that you'll learn in boot camp. Attention to detail is extremely important in the military, right? For me, I work on a submarine, so when it comes to hanging tags or performing a maintenance or any of those items, I have to pay extreme attention to detail, or I could potentially kill somebody, right? That's just in my line of work. I don't know how it is in the big side of the Navy or like big destroyers or anything, but on a submarine, we deal with high pressure air systems, stuff like that. So boot camp really teaches you attention to detail, right? That's why a lot of people get messed up. But what I mean by messed up, I mean they get beat, which by beating, I mean you don't actually physically get beat. You just they have this orange card or blue card or whatever with a bunch of different like push-ups, basically a bunch of physical exercises. You'll do air chairs. I did air chairs all the time. You'll do air chairs. You'll do flutter kicks, right? You lay on your back and you start kicking with your boots on. Those are going to get your legs in shape. And then you'll do arm circles. Arm circles, you'll do arm circles for days, right? So that happens all during boot camp. They teach you attention to detail and how to basically fold your clothes, because like on a ship, you don't have a lot of space, right? So you have to be able to fold your clothes to fit your space. On a submarine, especially, you do not have space, right? You have your rack pan, and if you're high racking, you have half of your rack pan. So, and then nothing else. So pay attention to how you're folding your clothes. It comes in handy later on down your military career, especially if you go on like an underway or deployment or anything, and you'll need that space, right, to save folding your clothes. Right, so then you do all the getting beat stuff. You'll do the air chairs and all that happens, and then you'll do NKOs. You do a ton of NKOs. NKOs are Navy Knowledge Online. Alright, so you'll do NKOs on basically Navy principles, right, honors and ceremonies, right? So they'll teach you how to like render honors to a more senior vessel coming through. You'll do a lot of those things. They teach you a little bit about damage control on on a ship, right? When you go to your bigger vessels, they have like actual DC men, which are more damage control people. They do deal with damage control. On a submarine, everybody does damage control, so it's more important damage control wise on a submarine than it is, I feel like, on bigger ships. And if you are on a bigger ship, let me know the difference, because I only know submarines and how submarines work. It's a whole different ball game, right? So there's that. They're going to teach you that. You're going to have 3 RDCs, right? You're going to have your chief. You're going to have most likely a first class and a second class. Your second class is the one that's going to be the angriest, right? He's going to be the one that messes you up a lot. Your first class, they don't really, they'll end up getting on your case a lot. But your chief, my chief was always probably the coolest chief during boot camp, right? He didn't really harp on anybody. He would, if nobody else was there, he would beat you if you needed to be beat. But it was mainly the first and second class, right? Because the chief is really just supposed to be the supervisory of the whole division. Alright, so I feel like I'm kind of ranting about boot camp. So I'm going to get into the 5 ways to survive boot camp. Do as you're told, alright? As soon as you just listen and do what you're told, your life will be so much easier. Don't overthink it. Just do as you're told. Right? Number 2, pay attention to detail. When they tell you to stamp your uniform in whatever spot, stamp your uniform in whatever spot. It is the simplest instructions. Just do as you're told, right? Number 3, don't overthink the orders. So that goes back to paying attention to detail and doing as you're told, right? If they say, like I said, stamp on your left breast pocket on the inside of your uniform, you're going to stamp on the left breast pocket inside of your uniform. It's simple. Just pay attention, do as you're told, do not overthink the orders. A lot of people overthink the orders, and then they're going to get made fun of. You're going to be like, don't nuke it, right? There's nuclear trained personnel. They're always the ones that overthink the order. Number 4, you're going to get material to study. Study the material that they give you, right? If you study the material, you'll pass your test. You have 3 tests that you have to pass during boot camp, right, to proceed. If you fail the test, you get sent back and you get ASMO'd. So study the material, do as you're told, pay attention, and don't overthink the orders that are given to you. Number 5, do not mess with the other recruits. You're gonna preach this every night during boot camp. It's the recruits training jacket or whatever. But you're not gonna touch any other recruit. You're not gonna harass any other recruit. You're not gonna mess with any other recruit, right? So just don't mess with the other recruits. If you get in a fight, if you throw something, if you touch them, and it's all reported, if somebody reports it, you will be ASMO'd. If not, set back to further. Like the very beginning of boot camp, right? They do not play around with that. They don't like harassment. They don't like any of that stuff. So do not touch anybody. Do not throw a pillow. Do not throw anything at them. The whole like, let's put a sock or a soap in a sock nonsense. If you do that, you get caught, you're gonna get sent back and you're gonna sit all the way back. If not, you might get sent to mast. People do get sent to mast in boot camp, so just think about that before you make your choices. Boot camp is extremely easy to pass as long as you do those 5 things. Alright, so to recap, do as you're told. Pay attention to detail. Do not overthink the orders that are given to you. Study the material that is given to you, and do not mess with other recruits. That is the 5 things that will help you make it through boot camp, right? You do that, you keep your head down, you do as you're told, you will easily graduate boot camp. Alright, thank you guys for watching Stanley Legacy. If you like this video, subscribe. And if you like this video, I might make more. I don't want this channel to necessarily be military based, but if you have any questions about submarines or anything, I can answer those questions. I don't know anything about Big Navy, but I do know a lot about submarine. So, alright, thank you guys for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hit that subscribe button and like the video if you like the video. Alright, thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching.